If you have wrist pain when putting weight on it, this video is especially made for you because I'm going to show you 5 exercises, not only to relieve the pain, but also to strengthen that wrist so you can work out with complete confidence. To do the exercises, we're going to need a few things: a chair to sit on, a wall to lean against, and a couch that will also help us move our wrists. And ultimately, a ball that can be replaced by a pillow from your couch. And I've grabbed a strap, I've grabbed this elastic band, but you don't have to buy one. A towel, a cloth, anything thin that you can wrap around your wrist will do. First technique, traction. What we're trying to do is separate all the bones in the wrist. There are many. Release tension and relieve discomfort. To do this, I invite you to sit down, leaning forward with your elbows resting on your knees. Your legs will help us create a greater leverage and traction effect, since we're going to use the muscles in our legs, which are much stronger than those in our hands. Imagine that you have a painful wrist, that it hurts right at this spot and you want to relieve that pressure. We have to place our opposite hand right above, at the base of the metacarpals that reach right up to here. We grab with the index finger and the thumb, making a pinch around our wrist, and keep that wrist in a neutral position. From here, I want to support myself well on my elbows. Pull outward to create that distance, and so those bones get real relief from the pressure. And for that, I want to use the strength of my legs, which, as you can see here, will make my hands move farther apart and create more traction at the wrist. Grab that wrist with your index finger and thumb, wrap your hand around it well, relax your right hand in a neutral position, and spread your legs as much as possible to feel that traction at the wrist. Very, very pleasant, especially here. How long do we hold it? Let's count 10 seconds. Very pleasant. You can add more tension, more pressure. Here, your legs are going to help you a lot because, as I said, they are much stronger muscles than the wrist. We relax and try again. I grab the wrist in the same spot with a good grip. From here, with my elbows resting well on my knees, I open outward as much as possible. A nice pull at the level of my wrist, especially here at the carpal area. I hold for 10 seconds. Very good. Relax. I'm going to do one more, but you can do as many as you want and as many times during the day as you like. We grab that grip again right at the level of the metacarpals, and from here I pull outward. I use my legs to help myself. I use my legs as a lever, opening as much as possible, decompressing that wrist, thus providing good relief. We'll hold for 10 seconds. Very good. Let's relax. I'm sure that after doing 3 tractions, you'll notice your wrist feels very, very different. Let's move to the couch to continue with good mobilization in flexion and extension. We grab a cushion and place it on the floor to protect our knees. The couch will help us work on palmar flexion and palmar extension positions comfortably, since it's a soft surface and allows us to mobilize. The floor absorbs the pressure on the wrist better, there's less mechanical demand, and we'll be able to adjust our weight on the wrist since we're on our knees. To make this more manageable, very simple. First of all, we're going to place our hands at the level of the couch with our fingertips pointing forward. Move forward slightly and start putting weight on your wrists. Hold until you feel slight discomfort, then return to the starting position after a few seconds. That was very intense. Try to lean less. The good thing here is that this really allows us to manage different weights and intensities on the wrists. And at the same time, this way, what we're achieving is improving their stability and increasing their weight tolerance. Let's imagine that you're good at this variation. Let's try another one. This time, I want you to place your palms facing out, your fingers pointing outward, and again, lean your body forward. Some positions are less painful than others. This one, for example, has less wrist dorsiflexion, making it more comfortable and easier to work on. We hold ourselves up for a couple of seconds and return to the starting position. The closer your wrists are, the more intense the exercise will be. So try it. Don't worry. You're in the starting position. No, don't worry. This one. To see which one works best for you, which one allows you to work with some intensity, but without causing you pain. And finally, once you've done 5 or 10 repetitions, there might be a little bit of pain. With wrists, it's okay. we're training them. We're going to place the wrists inward, and it starts with the fingers held tightly together. It's very simple. You support yourself on your hands and slowly return to the starting position. You support yourself on your hands and slowly return to the starting position. If all goes well, we can try to separate them slightly. Keep arms fully stretched, then shift your weight forward again. What do you think? With a more aggressive dorsal flexion, the exercise will be harder. We return to the starting position and play. The goal is to play in all these positions, to work progressively, so that little by little, that wrist becomes more and more tolerant. Obviously, you won't achieve this overnight. It's a training that takes some time, but it can already give results. If you do the exercises for 2 weeks, don't worry. At the end of the video, we'll go over all the dosages so you can do it correctly. So we can work with fingers forward, fingers outward, fingers inward, and now it's time to work on the opposite position. Flexion, palm down. If it's painful, take a few minutes, walk around, and move your wrists. It's hard to go from maximum dorsal flexion to palm flexion, so don't worry, and we're only going to work on palm flexion like this. With your fingers facing each other, it will be easier the closer your hands are together. From here, I lean on my wrists. Be gentle here since they're less resistant. I lean on my wrists. I hold for a few seconds and return. And if I want to work with more intensity, I spread my fingers a little more. Be careful. This movement isn't like the previous one. It holds much less weight, so adjust your work accordingly. I'm making a slight back and forth motion so that those wrists gradually absorb more and more tension and work. 10 back and forth movements in a position at a tension that feels comfortable to me. Very, very good, because we can really control the pressure we're putting on our wrists to achieve a very good adaptation. Very good. Now we're going to work with our ball near the wall to take one more step in working on stability. And also with the strap to finish mobilizing that wrist in dorsal flexion. So grab that equipment and let's move over here to the side. We continue with the strap for another mobilization of the carpus in extension. Pay close attention. The important thing is the starting position. I want you to stand at a distance from the wall equal to the length of your arms. And from here, I want you to lower your wrist a little until you start to feel some tension in your back. If you don't feel tension, just lower it further. There will come a point when you'll start to feel some tension or when your palm starts to lift off. It's extremely important that your palm stays supported at all times. Next, we're going to take that strap, that cloth, that towel, and we're going to place it right here at the level of the wrist, as you can see on the screen. And with the opposite hand, all I want you to do is push that wrist down, that carpus to create a traction position. So while the hand is already in a tense position of dorsal flexion, where there is some tension at the level of the carpus, what we do is add a little more tension by making a posterior translation at the level of the wrist bones. We take that strap. There also has to be some weight here. Okay, well, I don't want the hand to be unsupported, but rather there should be some load here that our hand is bearing, and our elbow should be fully extended. Grab that strap. I pull down, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 and relax. If a lot of discomfort has appeared, we raise the hand a little higher or pull down on the strap less strongly. Should I remind you? Let's start again. Hand on wall, arm and elbow fully extended. I slowly slide that hand until I start to feel tension in the front part of my wrist. Here, you already start to feel discomfort? I never lift my hand off the wall. I place my strap over it very close to the wrist, and from here what I do is pull down with some pressure. Don't overdo it either. And we hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And relax. I raise my hand a little to rest. I breathe, and let's go with the third one. I'm going to bring the camera a little closer so you can see it better. Watch closely. My hand is supported, my elbow straight, and I slowly lower my palm until I feel tension in the back of my wrist. I place the elastic properly, I raise it incorrectly, and from here I support my hand and pull down with considerable force and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I relax. I slowly return to the starting position. I take a breath and I go again. Down, a little bit down. And last repetition. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. I remove straps, hands separate. You may feel some heaviness in your wrist, but this technique will greatly help relieve the pain. You can do it as many times as you want. I recommend at least 10 times during the day so that we can relieve the pressure at the wrist level with this small traction movement. Now let's move on to a stability exercise. We've already done a lot of pain relief work. Now it's time to prepare that wrist so it becomes strong, so that the next times we put our weight on it, it doesn't complain in the form of pain. And for that, we're going to need our ball. It's not absolutely necessary to have one. We can do the exercise with a thicker pillow or 2 pillows, since the result will be practically the same. The only thing is that the ball gives it a bit more instability and makes the exercise a little more challenging. We take the ball, same position as before, arm fully extended at a distance equal to the length of your arm plus the ball from the wall. And from here, all I want is for you to squeeze the ball, let pressure fall onto your wrist, and let that wrist start to support the weight of your body. Less than if we were on the ground, since there is no gravity. And let's work within that range, where you start to feel a little discomfort, but without it being too painful. We release the pressure, lower the ball a little, and again let my body fall forward so that wrist absorbs constant pressure from my body. I relax. I move the ball a little outward and let my weight fall onto the ball again. As you can see, we're working on stability in the different angles of movement we have in the wrist. Now inward, and I let it drop again. The goal is to work in a circular area in front of your shoulder, in any position you want, letting the weight of your body drop. 5 or 10 seconds for your wrist to get used to that pressure, to adapt, and for the muscles to work. If it hurts when you apply pressure, use less. Bend your elbow a little so that the elbow also supports that pressure, and this way there will be less intensity on the wrist. It's simple with little wrist tension, just move a bit farther away. This makes the angle with respect to the floor greater, and we have to put more weight on the wrist. And again, we work for 10 seconds in one position, 10 seconds in another position, 10 seconds in another position, and so on. If you master it, we can also do circles. Place your arm outstretched, the ball, I support myself, and make small circles in the same spot. Very small, very controlled. This exercise is more demanding than the last and not for everyone, and it will help you work on your wrist stability tenfold. Both outward and inward, very slowly and very controlled. And you can work on it again in all positions, both in front of you, outward, inward, and downward. Let's bring the camera closer so you can see it well. How are those circles done? With the ball on the wall. Look closely at how my weight is well supported on my wrist. How is there an unstable surface, which is the ball, and how can it make small circular movements? With that arm, that wrist, they completely challenge the stability of the carpus. Inward and also outward. Slow and controlled, slow and controlled, slow and controlled. And we could also do these exercises with a ball, supported on the couch. That would be a higher level, because we would be working with gravity, and there would be more weight and tension on the wrist. Let's move over here and I'll show them to you. We finish again with our couch and our ball. Trust me, this just slightly changes the exercise we saw on the wall. Basically, on the wall, we can play with our weight by placing our feet further back or forward to put more weight on that ball. Here, we can go down, supporting the hand on the ball, and lean further forward or backward, so there's more or less pressure on the wrist. This variation isn't necessarily harder, just different, and I encourage you to try both on the wall and on the couch to see which one feels better for you. The goal is to place the ball, lean your body forward until you feel some discomfort, and then move back. Remember that we could also use a cushion. It's a bit different, but it can also be better for working on that stability. Arm fully extended. Hold the position for a few seconds. We go back. We change position, moving more inward. We go back more outward. I lean, put my weight on my hand, come back forward, and so on. We're really going to work through this whole circle of positions so we can train the wrist in all situations. And if you're able, if it feels good for you, if you notice you need more work, what we could do is add pressure. More circles, small circles with the wrist, as you can see here, that challenge its abilities throughout the entire range of motion. Pay attention, this can be more complicated and painful. More pain doesn't mean the exercise is more effective. I invite you to find your gray area. I always say it's not about doing or not doing exercises. It's not about black and white, but about finding a level where you feel comfortable and can work intensely without pain. Very well. Actually, this is the last exercise, the last variation I wanted to offer you. The truth is that when you finish, you notice some wrist fatigue, but it doesn't have to be pain. I feel a good workout, and I'm sure that if I work on it consistently, I'll be able to achieve good results. How are we going to achieve it? By doing 3 to 4 sets of the exercises. Seated row, band pull, wrist position, and finally, ball press. We can do 3 to 4 sets of exercises, repetitions of each of these exercises. This means that I do 10, for example, 10 presses on the ball, and then relax. That would be one set. Then I start again, 10 presses and relax, and that would be another set. And like that, consistently. At least 3 to 4 times a week, and I'm sure that in 2 weeks you'll notice a substantial improvement. You already know that the most important thing isn't just doing the exercise, but being consistent over time. I hope you like this, that it helps you improve the quality of your wrists, and that next time you put weight on them, they won't bother you. You already know that I share all the videos I post on my YouTube channel every week through my newsletter. I've left you a little card up in the top right corner of the screen and also the link below in the video description and in the first comment. Are you in? It's free and every Sunday you get my videos in your inbox. I hope you liked it, that you can share it with people who need it, and I also hope to see you again very, very soon in one of my other videos. My friends,